What's going on, guys? P Will back here for another video. In this video we're talking about how you can try to maintain your physique at Army basic training. I know a lot of you guys out there and gals, especially if you've lost a lot of weight or you've put on a good significant amount of muscle, you are worried about losing all of your gains or whatever going to basic training. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I did, what you can expect, and how you can prevent it at basic training through food and nutrition and all the training that you're going to be doing at basic training. Starting out, first of all, your physique should not be at the forefront of your mind when you're going to basic training. I know that the mindset that goes into your physique, you've put in a lot of work, it's just going to be always be at the front of your mind, like, oh, I'm getting fat, or oh, I'm getting skinny. I know how the mindset goes because I'm into fitness. I know what that thinking pattern is like, but you're going to have to break that. You're going to have to, especially if you're big in accounting macros and all of that stuff, you're just going to have to let it go because there's really nothing you can do. Now, there are a few tricks that will help you out, but people that are glued to their phone, they've got to put every little thing that they put in their mouth into like MyFitnessPal or something. It's going to be tough for the first few days, and but you're eventually just going to have to break free from it because there's nothing you can do about it. And just put your physique in the background. Just do these few tricks and just go on with training, graduate. You can worry about your physique once you get to AIT and later on into the Army. But while you're at basic training, there are a few things you can do. So first of all, you need to just accept that you cannot maintain your physique at basic training. You just got to accept it. The training stimulus is not there. The protein-rich foods are not there. At least the protein that you need to put on muscle. You won't be deficient, but you just need to accept that. But you can set yourself up for future success once you get out of basic training by not gaining fat. By it's easier to, well, you would set yourself up for better success if you you're going to lose all your muscle, not all your muscle, but you're going to lose a good chunk of your muscle. So it's better that you lose muscle and lose fat. That way you're just kind of skinny instead of losing fat and building muscle, because it's just a longer process if you've got to put on the muscle that you've lost, but you've also got to lose the fat that you've put on. If you lose fat and lose muscle, you can just come out of basic training and go on a little mini bulk and put on all your muscle again. So we're going to do that by losing fat at basic training. So what you're going to do to not gain fat at basic training is, first you need to realize that there's a fine balance between not getting fat and giving yourself enough food to perform. So it's going to be easier on some days and it's going to be harder on some days. It's going to be easy because I would say on the vast majority of days you're not that active. There's going to be days where you're going to go on long ruck marches and you're going to need your fuel. You're going to do heavy PT, and you're just going to go get smoked all day. And you're going to have to use some self-awareness and some common sense. Don't starve yourself. But there's going to be days where you're just chilling out around the company and you're really not going to be that active, and you're going to get MREs, which is already like 12 to 1,500 calories roughly, especially if you start trading around for higher calorie snacks. You can rack up the calories on days that you're just laying around the company, you're not that active. Maybe you did push-ups and sit-ups for morning PT, and then you get an MRE for lunch, you get a big breakfast because you're so hungry, and then you get a big dinner. You could easily rack up 3,000 calories. You're going to be hungry all the time because the meals are so spread out and they're so small and portioned out. But you get breakfast, especially if you get an MRE for lunch, you get a big dinner, and you get a protein bar right before bed. So you could easily rack up 3,000 calories. So what you're going to do, there are a few tricks that I've come up with to help you lose the fat. So when you go to the DFAC, we're going to talk about the DFAC. When you go to the DFAC, here's the meal plan. Days you go to the DFAC, you limit yourself to, you get a meat, a carb, a vegetable, and a fruit. So instead, when you go through, you can get like higher calorie stuff. Limit yourself to like the lean meats, a good high quality carb, a vegetable, and your fruit. So you're getting all your micros, you're getting your protein, and all of that. When you go through to get your beverage, you're going to want to not go for the milk or the Gatorade. Your drill sergeants are going to tell you, oh, you need the Gatorade, you need the milk. The protein bars that they give you cover your calcium needs for the day. So the milk is just extra calories, and there is an electrolyte beverage that you can get at the DFAC that is not Gatorade. It's either no calorie or low calorie electrolyte beverage, and it has sodium, potassium, everything that you lose through sweat, everything that Gatorade has, except all of the sugar and calories. So be smart with that. Don't get any like crazy desserts. You can here and there, but don't go for like the Pop-Tarts. Just eat clean for the basically. I don't like the term eat clean, but in basic training it applies because you don't really need empty fuel in the form of Pop-Tarts. Every calorie you want to get, you want it to be nutritious, and you want it to be dense in nutrition. So eat clean at basic training, and you, for the most part, as long as you eat clean, you will be good. All right, so we covered the DFAC. Now let's talk about the MREs, what you should eat when you get the MREs, since the MREs are so dense in calories. So the MRE, a typical layout of an MRE, if you don't know what an MRE is, it's going to come with a main meal, it's going to come with like a side item. Sometimes the side items can be 2 or 3 things. So like a side item in, like, let's take the Mexican style chicken stew. You'll get the Mexican style stew, and you'll get tortillas, that's a side, and then you'll also get probably peanut butter and jelly and the bread. That could be a typical layout. Each one of them are a little different, but let's say that's what you get. So you need to decide, all right, I get the Mexican style chicken stew. Am I going to get the stew, and then and it'll also come with a beverage powder. So you should break it down. I'm either going to get the Mexican style chicken stew with the beverage powder and the tortillas. That's going to be your meal. Or I'm going to get the Mexican style chicken stew, and I'm going to get the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's what you need to decide. If you get all of it, you'll get about 1,500 calories. But if you get, the stew and the peanut butter and jelly, you're looking at roughly 750, 800 calories, and that's a perfectly good meal to cut on, because you'll roughly get 800 calories each meal. Even in the hot days, you'll get 700 calories. So if you're on an active day, 3 800 calorie meals, that's 2,400 calories plus your protein bar. 2,600 calories, you're pretty active. About 23 to 2,200 calories in total once you count in your calories burned from activity, marching everywhere. You're at a nice small deficit to cut to limit the amount of muscle mass you're going to lose, but also lose fat, and you're not putting on muscle. A big mistake people make when they get the MREs is they get them all. They get their MRE and eat it all, and then they trade around for like high calorie, like TIF pound cakes and all of that stuff. So you need to eat what you get. Don't take what anybody else is going to give you. It's going to be tempting because you're starving. You're always hungry. It doesn't matter how much you eat, you're going to be hungry. So you need to realize that I'm always going to be hungry, and the food that I get, I'm just going to eat it. And this is setting me up for long-term success, because you want to lose the fat now. You don't want to get fat and just set yourself up for a complete failure. Now, a big mistake people make, I forgot to bring this up when I was talking about the DFAC, but a lot of people will get like 4, 5, 6 slices of bread and just dip it in the water and go, because it's quick carb. You don't really have to chew it. Don't do that. That's unnecessary. You could take in 1,200 calories just from bread and the DFAC at one meal on top of what you already eat. You don't need all of that, even if you are crazy active on a basic training day. You don't need 6 slices of bread at a meal. If you get 18 slices of bread at 100 calories each, 6 at each meal, that's 1,800 calories in bread. That's like 300 carbs right there at least. Don't do that. That is not necessary. You will be okay. Just have a little discipline. Know that, like, I don't need all of this food. Your body can survive on a lot of lower calorie food. I'll probably show you what I looked like before basic training and then after basic training. I'll probably throw up a picture right here or something. But you don't need all that food. Then there are going to be days you're going to get hot days at the company. This is where they bring food to the company. Don't worry about like counting anything here. If you want to cut out some calories here, don't eat the ranch dressing or any of the dressings they bring with you, or get the lower calorie dressing. But you're already going to be getting smaller portions with hot A's. So whatever you get with the hot A's, just eat it. You'll be good. Don't worry about that. But now I want to move on and talk about how to slow muscle loss. We already established that you need to, keep your fat lose the fat? How do you slow down the muscle loss? And I'm going to tell you right now, guys, you can't. You're going to lose muscle. You're going to lose a lot of muscle, actually, especially if you've got a decent amount of muscle. Now I'll throw up the pictures of me before and me after. I lost a lot of muscle mass. I went into basic training at about 183. I wasn't like shredded or anything, but I was pretty lean. I was probably anywhere from 10 to 13% body fat. I really don't know. I don't get myself tested on that. But I came out of basic training after the days where I had, so 3 days in a row I had 2 large pizzas, and then I had family day where I ate probably 10,000 calories on family day, and graduation day I had a lot of food too. Not as much, but I was definitely bloated in the face. I had a lot of food. After those days, I weighed myself on graduation night. I was 168. So I could have been down as low as like below 160, because after 2 or 3 like 8 to 10,000 calories days, I was still 168. So after all of that, I lost how much that is, 16 pounds. I would say I lost, I don't even know, probably 10 pounds of muscle at least, and 6 to 10 pounds of fat. So, I mean, I was looking lean after basic training, but I was definitely skinny. I definitely didn't have any muscle hardly. I lost all the definition of my shoulders. I lost pretty much all the definition of my legs, and I had no ab muscles really anymore. No chest definition, no chest separation. It pretty much just went, neck, and it was flat from my chest all the way down to my waist. So, which is a decent look. I'm not fat, but you can definitely turn yourself around. So the way you just minimize, stay kind of strong, you're gonna get your IOTV in basic training. It's gonna weigh like 30 pounds roughly. So just in my bathroom, we had like pull-up bars. They weren't pull-up bars, but they were strong enough to be pull-up bars. And I would just do some weighted pull-ups, weighted push-ups in the bay. I would do some leg raises, weighted squats, basically weighted calisthenics, some dips. You really don't have to do that. If you want to maintain a little bit of extra neural strength, you could do that, but it's really not going to do anything, to be honest. It's just going to give you a little bit of peace of mind, but you're going to lose all of your muscle. But it could be worse. It could be worse. You could lose all your muscle and get fat. So at least if you're following my tips, you're going to lose all your muscle and a lot of the fat, and you're going to set yourself up for the next topic, a perfect lean bulk coming into AIT. So that's basic training. That's how you maintain your physique. Once you get to AIT, I recommend a lean bulk. You're going to have this mindset like, I've got to eat everything once you get to AIT. I definitely recommend you just continue a nice lean bulk. The basic training rebound is a real thing. There are people that gain 15 to 20 pounds after basic training because they get to the DFAC and you still got that mindset of like, oh, I've got to shovel all of this food in my mouth. I've got to eat at every opportunity. It's like, slow down. You can eat whatever you want. You can eat as much as you want. Be a normal person, and we'll be all good here. But that is the video, guys. I kind of rambled on, but this is a topic I'm pretty passionate about. I definitely thought about this a lot before basic training, and it was kind of like an OCD thing during basic training, but I'm glad I broke myself of that. I'm back on my game now, as you know in my videos. Don't really worry about it. As long as you lose fat and lose muscle, you can always put the muscle back on in the future. I came out of, like I said, basic training at 168, and at my peak after AIT I was about 185. I'm down to about 176 now. I'm just kind of maintaining. But I've definitely put on I'd probably put on all the muscle I lost before basic training, because you gain it back faster. Once you've built muscle, it comes back a lot faster. So I've probably put on all the muscle I had before basic training now, and probably a little bit leaner. So I would say I'm at close to my best I've ever looked. I'm not as lean as I've ever been, but point is you gain it back. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Come on over to my Instagram and Snapchat. Instagram is a real P Will. I'll leave that in the description, and Snapchat is @P Will YouTube. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.